Welcome to Nerdy Drunk and Stoned. It is Thursday, June 25th, 2020. My name is Adam. I'm joined, as always, by Michael and Jason.
Hello.
What's up?
So, what do y'all think of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman and the Flash movie?
We're opening with Michael Keaton. We're opening up with rumors of Michael Keaton. I see. And is it confirmed? Are these rumors?
Has not been confirmed yet.
Everyone's running with the story. It seems to be that
that's what people, because it's click. It's like, look, we're talking about it. It's a good click. You know?
I saw tons of people discussing it, or tons of sites running with it. People that are respectful.
But running, I assume that the title is Michael Keaton might reprise his role as Batman in talks, things like this. So
to be fair, when he went over to Marvel, and he was what was his
he's
character?
the bad Spider-Man guy.
Yes.
The Vulture?
The Vulture. Yes. When he was the Vulture, he was already speaking to DC about reprising his role for Batman. So this has been an ongoing talk for a while now.
So, what are the ramifications of like the larger DCU? Because obviously, I think we discussed it's supposed to be covering the Flashpoint storyline, rather.
Well, I think that's what it was rumored. Like, I thought that standalone Flash movie is supposed to cover Flashpoint, I believe, with Ezra Miller. That one.
Ezra Miller.
Most likely,
glad he's coming back.
Most likely, they are going to either go in one of two directions. I think it's going to be either Crisis on Infinite Earths, or we are going to see the multiverse, essentially.
I would imagine it's the multiverse, because
they just did Crisis on TV.
Yeah, they just did Crisis on TV, and Ezra Miller was on Crisis on Infinite Earths. He had like a cameo, so you could even tie that into like the multiverse thing. You could have that crossover like briefly in the film, and then maybe he goes to like Michael Keaton's universe or whatever. Good way to sell your movie.
The Tim Burton universe.
Yeah.
To be
fair. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But this will mark the beginning of we're connecting all the universes together. I even heard a rumor that Ryan Reynolds is
that's what I've been reading a lot. He's supposed to show up in the Justice League cut, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's rumors about that.
I thought that was a joke that was coming.
No, those are big rumors right now. Like, that's all I'm reading about is him showing up as Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's the one up that DC might finally have on Marvel, is that all their universes will be connected.
It seems almost as if they saw the only missed opportunity Marvel had was not tying their Netflix shows into their universe. And DC's main, I guess, what they do best is their TV shows. So if they have a film that they can tie in their old movies that people used to like, along with all their TV shows, then they've got this massive universe overnight.
Yeah, because they already have like a huge following just on TV. And like I said, they already tried that they set the groundwork of it by having, someone from the DC movies cross over to the TV show for a cameo. And it's the same thing. I mean, just think of it from a marketing meeting. You say, hey guys, how can we get Michael Keaton to dress up as Batman again and be in this movie? Because now, and especially again, if you're an advertiser, you must just be thinking, oh, now we can target like the 50-year-old market, like 50-year-olds are gonna come see our movie now because it has Michael Keaton in it.
Is he that big of a
I
selling
mean,
point?
well, but if people are just looking at like how to make a buck, yeah, put the oldest, cinema Batman in there, and have him have a key role. And yeah, you would hope that an older generation would go see it because he's in it.
As much as Christian Bale's Batman was the first Batman to, for at least our generation, to be like, oh wow, this is a dark, deep, deeply disturbed Batman. Michael Keaton's Batman was the generation before us, their serious version of Batman.
So we're talking like the Penguin and shit.
Yeah,
Maybe?
what I'm trying to say is it would be like if Christian Bale came back to reprise his role, is what it would be like compared for our generation.
What?
Yeah.
25 years later, or some shit.
Yeah, essentially. But I mean, let's be real. He's gonna be. He will probably be. They will probably spin it off in some sort of Batman Beyond type Batman thing.
That's what
that's been rumored.
got super
too.
excited about.
And
When
yeah,
I
I
saw this
imagine.
news, that's where my brain went instantaneously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you can play with that a lot. Yeah, it could be a Batman Beyond scenario where just because Michael Keaton's been greenlit as like Batman or supposedly, you can still have who played Batman and Batman Beyond except for old Bruce Wayne. Who was it?
Terry McGinnis.
Yeah. You could do some shit like that.
Well, it's the contract that Keaton is rumored to be signing. Is he's supposed to be in multiple DC projects if he signs on to this?
Oh,
I'm sure that's where the in talks, quote unquote, is because it's sort of they have the certain things ironed out. Now they're doing details. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
How many movies? How much you get paid? How big's your role gonna be?
My biggest, my thing that I've been really curious about is how has his Batman held up? Not so much him playing Batman, but his in the mythos of his Batman, Tim Burton era. How has his Batman, like, what happened to his Batman? Did Arnold Schwarzenegger jump multiverses and just Hulk smash Michael Keaton's Batman? Like, I want to know what happens, or what happened.
Really pretty cool. Well, knowing DC goes for dark storylines in their movies, so I don't know. It would be promising. I would already go see a Flash movie on its own, but to tie in some like dark future Batman storyline also with the multiverse, yeah, that would get me like really hyped. And I bet it would get a lot of people in seats because let's be real, I mean, Batman is like the biggest property short of like Spider-Man, so
How much do you want to see of Keaton playing Batman, though? Do you actually want to see him suited up? And if you do want to see him suited up, do you want to see him fighting?
no, I don't. Again, I think it'll be a Batman Beyond role, like a advisor, an Alfred role.
But if he is fighting, it would still be like I would want a more down to earth Batman Beyond, where the old Batman in that has like souped up armor and shit that helps him fight. Like if you built some weird tech to help him fight, and then afterwards he's just all beat up and he's got like arthritis.
Like Christian Bale with the leg, man. He had to like strap on this electric or this metal torture device just to make him be able to walk correctly in the Nolan movie. So
Yeah, I think that would be super cool. I'd be down.
I am excited. For sure.
But like Jay said, I'd go see a Flash movie.
Yeah, I'd go see the Flash movie on its own. I mean, that actor was really good in that role. DC kind of did really good casting with everyone, though. I mean, Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, the Flash. I guess Cyborg. Cyborg was only in like half of a movie, so he's forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that character in general, just the way they treated it. That it doesn't matter who you put in that role. I'm not sure
Yeah, Cyborg was definitely an afterthought, which again, I hate to talk about the Schneider cut, but it's the same. Like, people are like, oh, Martian Manhunter may be in it, you know? And I'm like, yeah, but if he's in it, he's gonna be an afterthought. He's gonna be Cyborg Part 2. He's gonna be less of a thought than Cyborg was. So, other than like a cool cameo, you know, it's not gonna have any sustenance.
It'll be good regardless. Snyder Cut and Flashpoint, but Snyder Cut.
So I have some news for us to discuss this week.
All right, what do we
gentlemen.
got?
Pregnant? What's going on?
Well, right off the bat, Amazon. Amazon is launching a counterfeit crimes unit to address growing issues.
Growing issues of what?
So essentially,
Products?
if they determine that sellers are selling bogus items or misrepresenting their items, they will essentially sue them. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. But it wouldn't surprise me if it went further, though, and went to returns. Because I guarantee that there are people that abuse returning items.
Oh yeah, their return system is so fucking easy. I love it. But I can imagine because it's so easy, it's easy to take advantage of as well.
Yeah. But I mean, let's face it. Have you ever shopped on Amazon and been like, this is kind of a shady looking seller? Like,
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I bought from shady sellers, but I mean, not these days. But I don't use Amazon like ever for anything. You'd have to talk to Jade about that.
You don't use Amazon?
I don't order anything online unless it's
I
a
bought, like-
computer.
I
I
bought
bought a
something, like, once
computer
a week.
online. No, I could not tell you my last online purchase that was not my PC for Black Friday.
Ooh. I don't know. We bought too much stuff. I can't think of it. Oh, I bought some duster. That's right.
See, you buy shit you don't need.
I got this week.
Why don't you just? Well, I was gonna say, why don't you just go to Walmart? But yeah, okay.
that's Prime Duster. Okay.
It is through Amazon Prime, no less.
But yeah, Amazon. I do appreciate that as a consumer. I do appreciate that they are stepping it up and trying to do something for their customers. But yeah, it is super. Like, some of the stuff it used to be like, oh yeah, here's a PlayStation for like 10 cents. PlayStation 5, it's on sale. You know what I mean? Like, those that maybe not that exaggerated, but
I was gonna say, who buys stuff like
Idiot.
that from Amazon?
Idiots. That's.
I mean,
When I was a kid, I used to buy bootleg anime DVDs, and they were advertised
that.
as like the real thing, and they were way cheaper, which is why I bought them. So
Yeah, but the art wasn't nearly so cool. But they were like 30%
Hey.
of the price of the regular.
it was way less than that. You know, you were buying Evangelion box sets for like $30 for like in store. Yeah, it's like 150. You know, more so. So yeah, fuck that. I'll take the
I remember
bootlegs
those
any day of
days.
the week.
But you knew you were getting bootlegs.
Yeah, that's well. I
There's some
didn't,
common
but I
sense.
didn't at first. I think the first time I ordered them, I didn't know that they were bootlegs. And then, but once you ordered one or two, you know the cheap ones are bootleg. But to Mike's credit, I mean, maybe that's happening to people with real movies. You know, oh wow, look, my favorite movie's $2 on Amazon. So you order a bunch of them, and they're just a bunch of bootleg.
how do your parents digest music?
I don't know. I
don't
literally
know?
have no answer to that question.
The only reason I'm asking is because one of my parents has requested that I burn them some CDs.
Yeah.
CDs. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I was just wondering, have your parents, have they advanced to the Spotify level? yet, or are they still cassette decking it?
I know,
my
like
dad definitely does.
I know, like 10 years ago, my dad had like satellite radio in his truck, so he had like Sirius XM. So I don't know where he's at now in his capacity
Sirius
for
is
music.
not bad. It's just
No, it isn't.
so expensive for
It's not worth it.
super radio, which
Yeah,
I have no other
exactly.
way of describing it other than, it's nice. It's definitely nice.
But again, if you grew up with radio and that's what you know, so this is like radio 2.0, so you're probably willing to
But
pay
it's
the
still
premium.
radio. When you
True.
have the internet available on your phone that you can
And
just
you have
Bluetooth.
internet radio stations of anything that you want. So.
Yeah. If you have any sort of technical savvy whatsoever, you do not need Sirius. Unless you just are that much in love with Howard Stern that can't miss the show. Can't miss the show. I gotta pay for it.
Is he still on? Is he not done yet?
I don't know. I would imagine that he still is. He was the selling point for the past 2 decades
yeah.
or some shit, right?
That's true.
Do
It's gonna be like Joe Rogan on Spotify.
Do you know if how do your parents, which let's just speak in more broader terms, boomers in general, how do you know how your parents digest their media?
Oh.
Like,
Define media, because media is a broad term. It can be music, movies, TV shows.
so if your parents, like,
I think they have Roku. They have Roku. They used Roku in the living room and the bedroom.
Oh, so they know how to use like Netflix and stuff like that and get.
Yeah, they use all of that.
Oh,
These
wow.
are parents, not grandparents, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh man, wow! You guys have super advanced boomers.
Yeah,
my parents, they got smart TVs in like every room with Roku.
I would argue that my parents use more like a modern technology than like I do. Like, sure, I use streaming services and shit, but I play it off of the Xbox or the PC, you know.
Well, the other bit of news that I had to discuss was, do you guys remember in the 90s a movie called Twister? Came out in
I know
1996.
Of course.
Twister. Everyone knows Twister.
There is a reboot.
No, who cares?
Oh,
in the
fuck
works
them.
at
Just
Universal.
put a bullet in my head, please. I mean, okay, that's a remake of
man.
Twister. I mean, just name a movie from the 90s and there'll be a remake for it. I mean, Independence Day. Look, I know they rebooted it, but, so I guess they already did do a remake of Independence Day, so it's a big deal.
I wouldn't call that a remake. It's just a really fucking awful sequel.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Bill Paxton is probably turning his grave to this shit. Like, no. I can't even. It's going to be like Michael fucking Bay level shit. Like, the original Twist, the reason why it's a good movie is because of the storyline, the acting. The Twister is just like this third main character that shows up from time to time that drives the plot. But it's the characters, all right? That make that film good, not the fucking Twisters, and they're gonna make it all about the Twister.
Yeah, they're gonna make it.
It's probably gonna hunt them. The Twister's gonna like literally hunt them. They're gonna give it a personality. It's gonna be the same Twister. I guarantee you.
Yeah, right.
Mark my words. It's gonna be that same Twister goes up and down like it's a character. That it's not different Twisters.
It's gonna be directed by Joseph Kosinski. He did Tron Legacy. Oblivion.
Wow, really?
And Top Gun Maverick.
That's Top Gun Maverick isn't even out.
Correct.
You're proving my point.
They already had a movie like that though come out a couple of years ago, Adam. It was called Into the Storm, and it was like a quote unquote tornado horror movie. Whatever. It was like these people like running. They were like in a school and shit. And yeah, it was basically like the tornadoes were like fucking monster movie villains. Like it'd be like it'd be like real quiet and they'd be like, what's, and then like the tornado would be behind them. And it'd be like, how the fuck did you hear that coming, the giant tornado. But that's like how the whole movie was, and yeah, it would not surprise me if they
That
did some
sounds
dumb
like
shit
the
like
best
that.
movie ever.
It's a pretty good bad movie. I mean, it was a major release. It was in theaters, you know.
Yeah, see, someone at Universal was at home bored one night when
Watched
that
that
came
movie,
on
and they said,
and
"Why
watched
don't
that
we
movie and they were
remake
like, don't
Twister?"
we own the rights to Twister, right? Why
Yeah,
the fuck haven't we reboot that?
We
People
haven't
love
had
that movie.
tornado movies in a while. But I guess you
Well, we had
see,
Sharknado.
yeah, but that was like a
Very
that's
similar
like
to Twister.
no, that's like a
No.
B film. It's a quiche niche thing.
B is being generous.
I've never seen any of them, and I don't care to. So I don't get the. I like movies that are so bad they're good, but I like them unintentionally. Like if you make your movie like that on purpose, I don't give a shit about it.
What was Oblivion? Is Oblivion the movie where
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is flying around inspecting like an empty Earth?
Yes. It's a good movie.
Man, that's decent directing.
It was a good movie. I think Oblivion didn't do anything like great, but I really enjoyed it for like its
good
aesthetics. Decent, yeah. It had a bunch of tropes. Like it was nothing new, but it was not a bad movie by any means. And it was well directed. I mean, all those movies you just named are good directed movies. Tron Legacy, same thing. Tron Legacy is almost like Oblivion. Like it looks great and it feels pretty original, but it doesn't like do anything new, you know.
I have mixed feelings about Tron Legacy.
But that's my whole point.
Passed.
Wow, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, Tron Legacy and Oblivion are really kind of like a very similar film. And like just from like a visual appearance, they stand out. But they are also like forgettable. Strange.
What do you think doesn't hold up, Adam, with Tron now?
Was Tron Legacy even like, I mean, the only reason it was hyped for what it was is because Daft Punk did the soundtrack.
In my opinion, it was mainly it relied heavily on effects. Like the story, and a lot like Oblivion, the story itself isn't that fucking good, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
Or at least it was at the time. Because of course CGI ages, you go back and watch it and you see certain things and you're like,
aesthetically it still holds up well, you know.
But it was pretty.
Okay, well then, which do you think holds up better, that or the new Alice in Wonderland?
Wait, are you talking about like Tron Legacy or Alice in Wonderland?
Tron Legacy versus the
You're talking about
Johnny
Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland? That movie doesn't hold up to a pile of shit, okay? It doesn't hold up to anything.
I mean, that CG is pretty fucking rough, even now, if you go back and watch it.
That movie is rough. It's not a good movie.
What's her name? Who's the bad queen in that, the actress? She also played Bellatrix Lestrange and
Johnny Depp's wife. No, Tim Burton's ex-wife.
Yeah, she's in everything Tim Burton, but so is Johnny Depp. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Her character, wow, that CG is bad, really fucking bad. If you've seen it in the last 5 years, it's cringe.
I mean, you guys make it sound like Brendan Fraser Mummy CGI bad.
First of all, that movie's fucking great. I don't care how bad the CGI is.
Yeah,
I watched it 2 weeks ago.
No,
I watched back to back.
Tell me where the Mummy CGI is bad.
The Mummy itself.
The entire
yeah, but it looks better than Scorpion King.
At the time, it
King
looked great.
looks like shit.
At the
Scorpion
time,
King looked like Scorpion King looked like shit at the time. So of course it didn't hold up.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
Whenever The Rock showed up, you're like, what the fuck? Like in the second movie, it looked bad. In his standalone movie, it still looked like when they did shit. Oh god.
So you watched it recently, Adam?
It's a good movie. The Mummy
it was on TV. Like
movie.
I miss fucking Brendan Fraser action films. Like they're so fucking entertaining.
The Mummy is literally like, I mean, it's like Indiana Jones. I don't think it can ever be like that bad because even the aged effects, it's just a fun adventure movie with likable characters.
Well, here's a good segue. Speaking of old loves returning, Bill and Ted.
No, I don't.
Trailer.
I haven't watched it. I don't care about it.
Yeah, I've literally never
Kevin
seen
Smith.
any of them.
Kevin Smith got a insider's view of and watched the movie already. He literally cried. He said it is a quote adorable movie.
To be
He
fair,
needs
though,
to
Kevin Smith
get a
loves
grip on reality. That's
To be
what
fair,
he
Kevin
needs.
Smith loves a lot of things.
You're gonna
True.
cry? Like, did he cry during the trailer?
No, he watched the movie. He got to, as a director, he
I
got
don't.
to watch a copy of it.
I don't know. That man, whatever, dude.
Watch what you're about to say.
I mean,
It's Bill and Ted, man. Like, who gives it? I mean, they were fun movies, but like that shit is long done,
I mean, they can. Yeah, that's true. But you don't think that they can make it into something endearing? Like,
I'm
for
sure they
all
can.
The
It's
people that have watched it.
It's gotta be something about growing old and realizing that you're old, but you're still hip. I just summed up the whole story. There you go.
Jason, no fun cantaloupe today.
No, it's not no fun. I'm just saying that.
I mean, he's probably right.
Look, the movie is going to be, wow,
About
let's go on
growing
this
up.
adventure. Oh man, we're getting older. And then, your low point will be the characters being like, we're too old to do this. And then they're going to find worth and be like, look, we can still be old and be cool. I just summed up the whole movie. I've already seen it.
I can't wait for you to watch Bumblebee then, because
No.
if you
Me
are
first,
this
too.
critical, I just can't.
Bumblebee's
wait.
a fun movie, Mike. It's
No,
a fun movie. I don't care what the
no.
fuck you say.
If you have
Yeah,
brain
maybe
damage-
Bumblebee is like the Mummy, You
No,
never
it's
know.
not. No, don't insult the mummy like that. Oh gosh.
I just don't care about old Bill and Ted. They're just way too old. I mean,
Well, that's the thing. I don't know.
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
and at least Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick.
Are you saying
like,
you're not gonna
doesn't-
watch it? You're not gonna watch
I'll
it?
watch. I will watch Top Gun Maverick over Bill and Ted. Yeah.
No,
what
that's not
saying.
what I'm. No, see, you're trying to get off easy, Jason.
He's saying, "Are you gonna watch it?"
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not gonna watch it. Absolutely no. Why would I care?
Absolutely not. He's to say.
Not absolutely not. I just don't care. Like, it'd be like if they made a new Ernest film. Like, I don't care to
He's
go
dead.
watch
He's
these
dead.
movies.
He's dead.
They're
So
not
that's not,
making any.
that's
Unless
not on the docket, Jason.
You really don't think that they're gonna reboot Ernest at some point?
no,
with someone else?
No,
Come on,
they
man.
never. No, because no one can play his character like
Yeah,
that.
that's a good.
That would be
they'll
like
find
Pee Wee
someone.
Herman dying.
Yeah.
But yes. So I'm gonna watch it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna watch it.
I haven't seen any of the others. I have no interest in this one.
All right,
That's
well,
kind of the way I feel overall about it, just in general. I haven't seen it. Don't care to see it.
Well, the other thing that I have on my list here is
So hold on. Just to hit on that one more time. Just to beat a dead horse. What they say in Austin Powers is nothing worse than an aging hipster. And so that's why these movies like Rambo Last Blood and Top Gun Maverick, the reason why they can work is because yes, it's kind of weird to have like an old guy in this action role, but it shows that they have like a last hurrah, Rocky Balboa. But to see like Bill and Ted, like Bill and Ted were cool stoners, like wacky hijinks adventures. It's the same reason why like Jay and Silent Bob aren't cool when they're old, because it's a kid's game. Being a hip partier is a kid's game.
I can dismantle Jason's entire argument
Do it. Hit
with,
me with
my
it.
God. Good luck.
with one title, actually.
What?
Indiana Jones 5. You're totally gonna watch that, aren't you, Jason?
I haven't seen Indiana Jones 4. So,
Yeah, I haven't seen Indiana Jones.
So
4 yet.
eat my fucking dick.
Aren't
I
you a
haven't
big
seen-
Indiana
aren't there
Jones
aliens
fan?
or some shit?
Yeah, I've watched quite a few reviews of Indiana Jones 4, but again, it doesn't work because it's an old Indiana Jones. It just doesn't work. And so again, so to Tom Cruise's credit, in Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise Maverick, in the new Top Gun, he doesn't look like he's a fucking skeleton, you know?
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, I don't know what Scientology people are doing to him, injecting him with stem cells or some shit, but he doesn't look like he's aged much in the last 15, 20 years.
I will agree
No.
with you. There's definitely a point of diminishing returns where, you know, it's like, okay, this person needs to give this character a rest.
Yeah.
But
What's the thing? Like Sylvester Stallone still looks old, but it helps that he's like a mountain of a human being. So
see, when Rocky 6, I believe, came out.
Rocky Balboa, the newest, yeah, like the remake.
Well, it's
before
Rocky
the
Balboa
Creed
and then
movies.
Creed.
Yeah, which I think is technically Rocky 6. In the line, if you're
I think you're right.
numbers, he looked like his body was melting. In certain,
You're correct. You're not wrong.
It looked weird. Like it looked unnatural. And then I watched some of his workout routine, and he's legit. He's insane. Sylvester Stallone. He puts in so much. Like he still does all of his stunts, and he's like 90 years old.
What the fuck is he shooting up? I remember when
everything.
I saw Rocky Balboa, I was like, how much fucking HGH can you pump into him before he dies?
Test, T-ball. I mean, he doesn't care. He's just gonna be big till the day he dies. I mean, that's just how he's
gonna die a lot sooner.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so even though Sylvester Stallone looks old, when you look at his face, it's still somewhat believable in these roles because he's such a big, muscular guy. Like, so he can still play that action role because you're like, yeah, he could still probably beat my ass. So
see, I disagree. The only thing is I've never seen any of the Rambo movies. But to me, he just seems a little too old to be playing Rambo now.
Oh, you don't believe Grandpa could run around the jungle with a machine gun?
No, dude.
Or whatever the fuck he does.
In Last Blood, I think he just kills Mexicans. I don't know.
It was a drug cartel maybe?
Yeah, they kidnap his daughter or so. It's a very generic plot. Kidnap his surrogate daughter, and he has to go and kill all the illegal immigrants that kidnapped his daughter. That's literally the plot of the movie.
So did Trump write the script for that movie?
No,
or is
but
he just a big fan of it?
Yeah, that's why people gave it a lot of shit. It's actually a really good action movie because then the ending is like the you know, now they're on his turf because they come and attack him at his home, and you're like, oh no, you know. It's a pretty good movie though. It's not bad.
I will agree with you, Jason. There are some roles that I think you should just kind of let go, but like I think some things get a pass and some things don't.
I can't give Bill and Ted a pass, man. It
would be like if you did a fucking sequel now to like Dude, Where's My Car? That's what it feels like. As someone who's never seen Bill and Ted.
There's only been one of those movies.
There's been what, 2 Bill and Teds?
I think there's been
Ooh,
There's been 2 Bill and Teds. Yeah.
They had a sequel, and that makes them so much like better and more.
They became a cultural icon. When you think of Bill and Ted, you think of that era of like the 80s.
I don't even know what
but it's
era
because they're young. It's because it appeals to your youth. No one wants to see their youth icons as you put it, dissolving old men.
Yeah,
I don't want to see fucking Neo and John Wick play some aging stoner that's fucking time traveling.
I'm just responding to Adam's point because that who honestly can say, yeah, I know a guy that's like, yeah, I can think to exactly the time in my life when I watched Dude, Where's My Car? Like nobody.
I have a general idea.
Like that's the difference. And also
it's around the American Pie times.
Also, I'm just letting you guys know that I'm pretty sure my chair is about to break. No. So I am teetering on the edge here.
Just readjust.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
You know what's funny though? Remember like 5 or 6 years ago when we were having all these discussions? Oh, the internet was about Keanu Reeves like not aging and being a vampire. But now it's like very obvious that he's aging. Like you see him now, you're like, oh yeah, that only lasted a brief span.
Yeah, but that's because he grew out the beard and stuff, and like he's made personal decisions that makes him look older.
Yeah, I think one, especially I think when people were talking about it, it was like, oh man, he's in his late 40s and he looks, it's kind of like the Jared Leto thing. Wow, he looks so good for his age. But yeah, by the time you hit 55 or 60, it's like, yeah, you're gonna notice
Catches
that.
up.
Yeah, you can only look like you're 30 in your 50s for
Yeah, but then again,
so
didn't
long.
wasn't his girlfriend or fiance or something that died like his longtime partner died?
You're talking about Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
so I'm
Keanu
saying,
Reeves
like,
has
that.
had
I
a
can only
rough
imagine.
life.
I can only imagine the toll that takes on you. Like,
Yeah.
you would show your age at that point.
Mm.
Mike, you gonna say something? Or not?
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Like-
only two people that seem to be able to defy time would be Keanu Reeves and Brad Pitt. I would say.
Jared Leto,
Paul
and
Rudd.
Tom Cruise.
And I
are
hate
doing
saying
Paul
this, but
Rudd.
Tom Brady, he looks pretty young for his age, I would say.
How old
I
is
would-
he? I feel like
I
he's
would-
starting to look older.
I would agree with you, but I think that has something to do with like his physique because we've all seen the picture of him in the draft, just kind of like out of shape with quotations, but he's never been in shape. So, like you don't look at Tom and think like, wow, that guy's ripped up. Like he's naturally can just play QB without having to bench like fucking 300 pounds. So
He always looked like a very average looking guy. Like, yeah,
to me, he looks a lot better now than he did, when you see him in his first couple of years as a QB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was he scrawny or something?
Yeah. He just wasn't. I mean, he wasn't scrawny. He just like was not in shape. Like he kind of has like just a normal ass stomach, just like a gut, and like it looks like a dude that has not been to the gym.
Watch the moment when Tom Brady takes over for Drew Bledsoe. You can see like the shoulder pads, like his football gear is bigger than Tom Brady is. It's pretty shocking. But bringing that full circle, just how, when you look at Keanu Reeves, he doesn't look that old though. Still.
No, but if you compare him to pictures of 5 years ago,
Well,
like
when
this,
you compare him to movies like The Matrix and stuff like that, or the old Bill and Ted movies, or anything else that he's done theatrically, you're like, oh wow, he really has aged a lot. But he doesn't look like it if you haven't seen any of his movies recently.
Oh yeah, there's shit. I mean, I forget. 6 Feet Under has a bunch of cameos like that, where it's people that I know from other mediums, like The Leftovers and shit. And when I see these characters 20 years prior in 6 Feet Under, I'm like, this guy doesn't look old at all in this show. And then I see him 20 years prior, and I'm like, wow, holy shit, he's old as fuck. Like,
Yeah, it's not until you see the.
Yeah, I think the lead guy in The Leftovers, he pops up in like season 4 of 6 Feet Under, which I guess you're trying to watch now. And yeah, he's like a fucking kid in that show. I'm like, wow, like holy shit, man.
Oh man,
Talking the dark-haired guy.
Yeah, the main guy, Justin Theox or something like that. His last name's kind of weird.
The other thing on the docket today was, now this doesn't really affect me or Jason as much, but I know it might affect Adam. Disneyland has decided to delay its reopening of its theme park.
Does it say land?
No,
Or does it
I
say
think
Disneyland, Disney World.
I think it's both of them.
It says theme parks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we were supposed to go in October.
I mean, are you guys surprised by any of this? Like,
No, Florida's a fucking shit show right now, and California's got so many rules in place to prevent it from being a shit show. It's just it seems to be the logical thing to do, but also from just a business perspective, following the law, it would be nearly impossible to safely guarantee everyone.
Yeah, especially when people think that like Florida might be the new epicenter Yeah, it's in California, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, let's open up the big fucking American theme parks in these areas too. Nah, gotta do.
Because what we were discussing whether or not we were still going to try to keep with our plans prior to this news coming out. And I said, even if they do have social distancing implemented, even if you're just doing like open air rides, there's standing in line, the lines that could be an hour or so long, and you're weaving next to each other. So you've got all these people still packed in.
You could social distance. You know what? If you required everyone to wear a mask, I really don't think it would be that big of a deal.
Yeah, everyone has
And
to
it's
wear a
open
mask.
air. I mean, yeah, well,
Yeah,
now
some of the rides aren't like there's a lot of rides where you go indoors
you
and they're
pack
enclosed
in.
spaces,
Yeah, you're right, actually.
and you're like weaving through lines.
And then especially if you think of rides like Mission to Mars and shit, where these intense rides, Space Mountain, can you wear a mask on an intense roller coaster? I mean, yeah, Disney probably was like, oh, we're gonna have more deaths. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
And then get on the Millennium Falcon. You're literally inside a small spaceship with a bunch of other people. Like,
Oh yeah, I
can't
forget
social
that that's a
distance that.
thing.
Rename
That's
the,
why we're going. It's because they finally opened up the Star Wars park. Like, we're waiting for it
rename
till we
the,
went.
rename the coronavirus Falcon. But no, yeah, how do you guys feel about California? I think had over 7,000 or something like that. Brand new confirmed cases this week or today.
In a week or in one day? I was
Today.
like, Texas is getting 5,000 a day. We're blowing them away, man.
Yeah, it was like 7,000 in one day.
California at 7,000?
Yeah, it's like California, Florida, and Texas right now are blowing up.
Well,
California kind of surprised me because they've been a lot more strict as far as rules are going.
yeah, but they just mandated mask not too long ago, right?
They
I want
just,
to say it was like a month ago.
Oh, was it that long ago? Damn.
Let's see this. California 7,000. California reports more than 7,000 cases. Biggest daily jump so far. Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you're reopened, so this is what's gonna happen, you know?
But
Yeah, I mean,
isn't it common sense? Like, I feel like it is perfectly reasonable if when we're in lockdown, someone came up to you and knocked on your door saying, "Hey, listen, you guys can come out of your house, but you all have to wear a mask. Anyone that comes out has to wear a mask for whatever you're doing." Doesn't that seem like a reasonable thing? Like, I don't understand how this has become politicized. Like, I don't understand.
you don't know how? I can tell you exactly how it's been politicized.
No, I know exactly how.
When
But
the president politicizes it, it gets politicized.
Yep.
I just don't understand. I mean, that's one. I mean, because we did not go into the lockdown to cleanse, to purge it of from our society. We essentially did the lockdown to make sure that our hospitals didn't get overrun, which it sounds like Texas is already at almost full capacity.
And we're teetering.
Yeah. Which, I mean, imagine that imagine New York's medical situation happening to Florida, California, Texas. 4 epicenters.
Yeah, I would love to see them try that outdoor morgue thing in Texas or fucking Florida where they make makeshift morgues near the hospitals to put bodies in. Try that in the summer heat of the South. It's gonna work out real well.
We have a lot of room in Texas, so you know.
But hypothetically, if
For mass graves.
if every single man, woman, child wore a mask when they went out in public, that would, in fact, rid it from our
Yeah, it would help. I mean, enormously. It would probably help 98%. You know,
mhm.
it would be a humongous. Which I think that's the way we're heading. You see states now like Texas, California, Florida. I don't know if Florida's making you wear a mask or not, but I mean, they're on the short list of places that will probably start doing it. You know.
Mhm.
And I really think that's how you'll see it. Oh my god, I knocked my mic down. I think that's really how you'll see the cases decrease.
Mhm.
I will be happy to see the cases decrease, but I'm waiting to see waiting for some governors to be confident enough to actually make the right decision and stop tiptoeing around the
What
fact
is
that
the
it's a
right
fucking
decision?
problem.
What's the right decision?
Own up to the fact that your decision to open up the
But
the
no one's
state-
going to close back down. I mean, no one's going to do that. There's
Yeah,
no
that's the problem
way.
is that no one's willing to back down.
Yeah, it's just
Everyone,
because it's seen as such a step backwards, and you know we know that
it would admit that you're wrong. That's the problem.
we can see. Well, not even that you're wrong. I mean, you know, they said we're entering a recession and these things. So do you believe that we're entering a recession or not? And a recession caused by us closing down?
We were approaching a recession before COVID.
That it might
COVID just
yeah.
expedited it.
It might be the smoke screen that lets your current president get off by saying, "See, it wasn't my fault. It was a virus."
Do you guys think the bigger argument here is the people that think that there is a pandemic going on and the people that don't think that there is a pandemic going on? Like,
I don't know anyone that doesn't think there's a pandemic.
well,
You
I know
know,
people that think
quite a
masks
few
are
people.
bullshit.
let me
I
put
know
it this
people
way.
think masks are bullshit.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it into two camps. There are people who see masks as vital, as a precautionary measure, and there are people who see masks as an assault on their liberties.
I don't know anyone. I can't name off the top of my head anyone that thinks a mask doesn't help, but I can tell you a lot of people that think that this virus is literally no big fucking deal. Like that it
That's
is
what
in
I'm
fact
talking about.
less worse than the flu. Like so my I guess in my personal whatever in
Life.
my personal life, I definitely see the opposite. Like everyone is kind of like willing to wear a mask. There's a lot of people that just don't think the virus is harmful or even real for that matter.
And if you don't think that this is real, where do you think these numbers from these surges are coming from? It's from people that are going back out in public, that are not social distancing, not wearing masks, and these states are seeing huge upticks.
I think a lot of people have the mindset of they think the numbers are going up because we're testing. Like the people that think it's no big deal, or
Which is
they're like,
such a
it's
cop-out.
always been like this. We know that's the only reason that the numbers are going up is because we're testing more people.
That doesn't make any sense. You get tested when you feel sick. You don't get tested because you think, "Oh, I think I had it." Like that is a cop-out argument.
I didn't say they were right. I mean, they're fucking delusional. But
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
that's the argument that they're making. But I do know people that say that masks don't work, and it's a lot of the same people that are anti-vaxxers. They think it's just this government control. There's this fucking meme going around that's like 2020, and it shows like a woman with a mask, and it's like 2021. It's like a scarf, like a bigger mask.
Oh, I
and in 2022, it's like a fucking burqa, and I'm like, what?
I thought that was a joke. I literally
no. There's people sharing it.
I'm fairly sure. You know what's so funny about fucking
people with
like
law
that?
degrees are sharing that shit, Jason.
I feel like the people that create them, literally, those are created as like a joke. Like when I see them before they hit Facebook, like everyone's like, ha ha ha, that's really funny. And then it hits Facebook and people think it's like real. And you're like, wow, like you guys really think that's where we're going, you know? And hey,
It's sad.
with global warming happening, maybe you should wear a fucking burqa, you know? Protect you from
how does
some
that happen?
cancer. Oh, because
From
the
skin
sun's rays,
cancer?
yeah, skin cancer,
Oh,
you
that
know?
reminds me. That's why I
Not
wanted
how
to.
global warming works.
That's why I wanted to bring up Twister. It wasn't the fact that it's just a remake.
Oh God, they will take that fucking route, won't they?
It's
What
it's
route?
gotta be the
Global
most.
warming superstorm. That's what it's gonna be. Like this global warming's created these strong tornadoes.
I mean, let's face it. Twister's gonna be based off of reality. Soon enough here. I mean, granted, unless they take the Mike Myers approach, with these storms, these tornadoes,
They will. I guarantee
they
it.
will.
I guarantee you. No, they are definitely going to do the whole. It's caused by global warming. That's why they're so erratic and strong.
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart. It's not smart actually, but it's
tornadoes. As far as I'm aware, the science doesn't hold up.
Tornadoes
you can do
have been
hurricanes.
evolving.
You can do hurricanes. You can do tsunamis. These things, like, are they created in the ocean? They're fueled by warm water. Tornadoes. That's not how the science works. I'm fairly certain.
Now just say tornadoes. Tornadoes have changed. They've evolved.
All right. So since Jason is the ultimate hater here when it comes to these old school movies making a comeback, what if you had to choose one movie to make a remake of? What would it be?
That's such a difficult question because usually, and I feel like
Any genre.
But okay, but right off the bat, most remakes are bad. There are very, very few remakes that can you think of a remake that is better than the original? Go.
Most Marvel movies. Iron Man 1.
Okay, like that's horse shit. You're talking. I mean, you know what I mean. Think of a '90s. Think of one '90s or
No,
one.
I agree with you.
remake.
I agree
Something
with
they're
you most of the
purposefully
time.
remaking.
So I would not want my movies to be remade.
But that was an era. That was that time when they gave you sequels that were most sequels didn't even make as much movie as the originals did during the 90s.
Oh,
now you don't see that in movies today. Typically, I mean, Deadpool 2, I guarantee you made a lot more money than Deadpool 1.
Jason's like, I'm about to verify that.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
gonna verify.
hold up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, typically nowadays, sequels outgross the original films.
Okay, Deadpool 1 did like 783 million globally, and Deadpool 2, damn, Deadpool 2 made fucking 2 million more. It's 785.
My point.
He's like, still outgross. Technically
Damn.
speaking,
Okay,
I'm right.
Maybe it's not the best example, but in general, most sequels now outgross the originals. But that wasn't the case in the 90s because you had horrible movies like Batman Returns, Jaws 2.
The Mummy Returns.
Which
That movie's
was
great.
alright.
I don't think The Mummy Returns is that good. That's the
I mean,
one
it's
where they're
not-
on like
it's
a
not
hot air
big.
balloon and shit. Doesn't he have a kid in The Mummy Returns? Or am I all wrong?
This is the one with the pygmies,
Yeah,
right?
but the pygmies.
Yeah, there's like these little pygmies chasing after them.
Yeah, there are pygmies. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Do they have a
It's a
kid
solid
in The
fact.
Mummy Returns? I don't think they do.
Yeah, the little blonde kid.
That's in The Mummy Returns? This is the one with the Scorpion King, yeah.
Yeah, because he's got the bracelet.
Oh,
on,
yeah, he has
and
the
they've got to
kid.
get to the temple,
No,
and he's
it's
like
not
running, and like the sunlight's coming, and he's running.
No, yeah. I'm sorry, The Mummy Returns is not that good. Not compared to the first one.
Yeah, it's not nearly as good, which is, I guess, kind of Mike's point, but it's still a good movie.
I
Watched
don't
the
know
other day.
about that. I would argue
watched
that
them
the one
both
with
back to
Jet
back.
Li
Phantom
is-
Menace. Phantom Menace.
Stop it.
Another right there. No, I'm just kidding.
A Star Trek, and then Star Trek Into Darkness. Okay, big pile of shit. Into
Those-
Darkness fucking sucked.
You
compared
take-
Into Darkness. Into Darkness was so bad. I still haven't even seen that third one. And what the fuck?
It's good. The third one's good. Beyond.
You take all the Star Trek movies that have ever been made, and
You
you put them in order.
You do this thing where you compare movies that are pre-CG age to like CG films of the modern day. You can't do that. That's like cheating.
That's
It's
like
what's
cheating.
better, Iron Man 1 or Casablanca?
I
Like,
mean, we're talking about sequels. We're talking about
yeah, but of course,
Those
like
are
the original
reboots,
Star
remakes.
Trek
That's not a
movies
sequel.
Are like, yes, they're aged graphically, but maybe the stories hold up better. The characters hold up better.
Ghostbusters 2.
I love Ghostbusters too, actually. So
It's been a minute since I've seen.
I don't like it as much as 1, but I do like Ghostbusters too. But I know a lot of people don't like Ghostbusters too. So
Well, if I were going to remake something, I think I would have to remake.
And again, you're under the assumption that the remake is going to be good and not just ruin the film that
Part
you like.
of me wants to say Lost just to piss
No,
off Jason.
absolutely. You did it. You did a good job. They already remade Lost. It's called The Leftovers. It's on HBO. Go watch it.
Are you sure? I thought it was called 100.
Oh, you might actually be right. Yeah. Or Watchmen.
Um,
No, it's not Watchmen.
It is. Anything that Damon Lindelof fucking does, it's just a sequel to Lost.
What the fuck is 100?
That was the CW show where they're on an island. Mike's actually pretty much right. So the 100 is like Lost for teenage girls, is what it is.
Oh dear God.
you would love it, Adam.
I would like to see them maybe remake V for Vendetta. Dude,
Hell no, that thing's a masterpiece.
I know. This is my argument though. Just to see the like modern day political spin, because it very much had like a Bush era message to it. And I would just love to see what they can pack in today, just to laugh at it, really. I don't think it would be nearly as good as the original, but you know, there would be like a Trump villain and like Antifa would be in it. Oh, it'd be so bad.
Give Quentin Tarantino that character.
We just want to give Quentin Tarantino every fucking movie.
Just give him everything.
I just need Quentin Tarantino to put his spin on everything.
Exactly. What about you, Adam? What would you remake?
From the 90s?
Any era, anything.
Oh, Captain Marvel is what I would remake.
Oof. Oh, fangirls around the world hurting after that one.
That's what I would
Fuck
make.
Captain Marvel. Just don't make it to begin with. Unmake it.
Oh wow.
I would like a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles spinoff. Just because the only reason I'm thinking of that is because the fact that HBO Max has the OGs, and 1 and 2 are fucking amazing.
Dude, HBO
3
Max is actually like
3 is
really
dog
legit.
shit. Don't ever watch that.
I was scrolling through their library, like their Turner Classic movie curations. Like there are great movies in there. Like they have a really good collection of They have like a really good collection of old films and new films in that. I was like, I don't know. I think HBO Max is like really, really good.
This past weekend, honestly, I think I scrolled through from A to Z. There was just movie selection. I was like, I want to see every movie. And then it was like, add to your list. So it's every movie I saw that I was like, oh, I haven't seen this movie. I've been meaning to watch it. Add to my list. Add to my list. Add to my list. Add to my list.
How would you guys feel if they added a Ninja Turtle to the group?
I would
What?
protest.
Oh, like a fifth? Why? Why?
I would boycott that goddamn movie and protest outside.
I don't think I would boycott it. I just don't see what the point is.
Only
What
to generate,
Renaissance era artists are they going to name it after, Mike?
only to generate interest. Only because, like, when we were kids, Secret of the Ooze, that movie was amazing. Ninja Turtles was super popular when we were kids. But now it's like you all you see is this garbage CG or cartoons of the Ninja Turtles, which I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm going to pass that up every single time.
Even the cartoons are kind of like garbage computer generated. Just in my opinion, as like someone who wants a cartoon to be a cartoon, I'm like, this looks way too much drawn on a computer that I don't know.
But do you think they could do a full, like, you know how Thanos is realistic looking, like, you know, he's made to look very, very, very realistic. Like, what if they did a super real? But they,
I mean, they did
already
freaking
that.
The original movies. They're in like costumes.
I think that
and
was
it's kind of like it's kind of like fucking not T-Rex, Jurassic Park films compared to Jurassic World films. The Jurassic Park films, especially the first one, it's mostly animatronics and puppets. Like, it looks real, and it has held up decades because of that.
Yep.
The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, same fucking thing. They're guys in outfits. So it's going to hold up, and I thought they did a decent job. Anytime you bring CGI into it, it's going to...
But that was the height of Turtles. You don't...
Yeah, we fucking dressed... Me and my brothers dressed up as Ninja Turtles one year.
Hey, I just had the idea that it would be cool to see a black or white...
What?
Turtle?
Now you're
Turtle.
making an albino turtle?
No. Like the color that they represent, like that they put.
Oh, so now you want it to
their
be Power
bandana?
Rangers? So it's
Yeah,
Power
you're talking
Rangers.
about Power Rangers. Like, that's what you want, Mike. You want a fucking Power Rangers film. And what I want is for them to continue with their fucking reboot.
Yeah, they need to make a good reboot before they try to like add new turtles and shit.
I mean,
Let's do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Power Rangers combo now.
Well,
Do
they
a versus.
should.
Do a
Why not?
versus. I'd watch the fuck out of that. Don't care.
Wasn't that a film, Ninja Turtles and DC? Didn't that come out animated?
They did a thing with a Batman Ninja Turtles crossover.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Which
Where
is a
Batman
comic.
fights Shredder. I've seen it actually. It's actually pretty badass.
He's a punk.
Batman fighting Shredder? That sounds badass.
Yeah, Shredder's a punk. That's all I gotta say.
Gotta give him the ooze first.
Yeah, and then he becomes Super Shredder. But the last thing I had, and kind of ending on a down note here, but whatever. I actually might start.
You're done.
I actually might start watching NASCAR.
Why?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Only because of their recent stances on going against the Confederate flag. I think it's something that should have happened a long time ago. But I just I'm not sure if you guys were aware that there was a noose found in Bubba Wallace.
It wasn't a noose.
It wasn't a noose. Thank you. I was waiting for
I've
it
seen the
to get-
pictures.
It's a noose. It's this big. What it is? It's a fucking it's a garage
It's a pull
pulley.
down.
Yeah, it's a pull down. It's literally attached to its garage door.
That's
and it's
the
just
biggest garage pulley I've ever
It's
seen.
no, it isn't. It's this big. It's not a noose.
It's big enough to like put your hand through
Hand
like
through,
this,
yeah.
and
It's
grab
just
it, and then
yeah.
pull.
It's literally just a. You
'Cause it's
can
probably a
go find
big-ass
pictures of
garage.
it. Yeah.
No,
It-
NASCAR released the photos yesterday because the fact that people were basically going, "Oh, y'all made a big deal and it wasn't a noose," and they're like, "Look at the fucking picture." And for the record, the way it's tied, I think technically speaking, it is a noose.
No,
But-
it's. I don't think it is because a noose like tightens when you pull on it,
Yeah.
and the way it's knotted, it's called like a reverse something where the knot looks like a noose. It's the same kind of knot, but instead of self tightening, it just holds.
sailors are just rolling their eyes right now. Listening
I could
to-
look it up. I read about it the other day. I mean, this is my whole thing. If I'm gonna make a noose for a hate, like that's my hate crime, is to sneak into someone's garage and tie a noose this fucking big to someone's garage door. Like I'm not buying it at all. I think you're looking where things don't exist.
Well, let's just say, hopefully you guys are right. Hopefully it was just a coincidence. But if it was, and this was in response to NASCAR distancing themselves from that symbolism. I think it's just a good thing overall for that sport.
Well, they did the Confederate
it's still a
flag
garbage
before
fucking
this story
sport.
came out. Yeah, we had this
No, he's saying
conversation
whether or
at
not
work.
this was a reaction.
Oh.
The only black driver gets a noose in his thing because they banned the Confederate flag.
I
cause
just
and
think,
effect.
I think that's a way for NASCAR to stay in the news personally. But we actually had this conversation at work. I think someone was like, why hasn't NASCAR been Me Too'd? And I was like, well, it aren't Me Too'd, whatever. Why haven't they had that fan base is probably pretty toxic. But I was like, no, it it's coming. Like
You're just like, I'm not gonna mince my words. They're fucking toxic.
Yeah, they're not, they're the people that don't want to wear a mask, whatever. But that being said, it is kind of becoming that way. Again, you take away the Confederate flag, I know that those fans really care about that shit. And they probably will lose viewership because of it. Because I know plenty of people that don't watch the NFL anymore because people nilled. I know that seems so, I want to ask these people, well, then you never cared about the NFL in the first place. You know what I mean? Like if someone kneeling
that's kind of my thought.
is bothers you, like you don't care about the product. You don't care about the sport. Like your mind, you want to say like these people are warped by politics or whatever. Like, bro, if you won't watch your favorite sport because someone is kneeling, that takes up 2 seconds of the fucking game. Like, come on.
Or because a certain piece of fabric is not allowed inside, like
yeah,
the
exactly.
stadium.
Oh my God! Before he suited up, he had a shirt that said, "I can't breathe. I can't watch this garbage anymore." Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I think the argument you're making is the difference between a rational person and a radical person. It's someone that can't see past like their own politics.
But no,
to
I don't
enjoy
care.
things.
NASCAR could be the most liberal fucking sport on the planet. I could care less about watching it. It's just so boring to me.
Oh yeah, left turn, Mike. Left turn. Keep watching your fucking left turns. Be my guest.
No, I'll watch the last.
No.
I actually do pay attention when it's on during like the last 10 laps, because there's about to be like big wrecks and big shit's about to happen.
People start taking a risk.
Yeah. Well, it's like what a lot of people say with playoff basketball and stuff. You can miss the first 3 quarters and it doesn't matter. As long as you watch the 4th quarter, that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, anytime the fucking Rockets are in the playoffs, you better believe I'm not going to sit there and watch 4 quarters of every single game, because the game is always decided by like the last 30 fucking seconds.
Every
anyways.
NBA playoff game is teams up by 15. The same team is now down by 15. Like, oh, look, now this one team is, wow, they just shot 20 in a row. And now somehow going into the 4th, there's like a 5-point differential. Every fucking game.
Well, that was all
It's
the
suspicious.
news.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go on record and
What?
say that NASCAR is garbage. So, whatever.
Yeah,
That was
it's
all
a
the
bad
news.
fucking sport.
That was all the news brought to you by me.
What do y'all think about fucking Mixer shutting down, Microsoft's moving over, joining up Facebook, and Ninja and Shroud from Loaded Gaming just got 8-figure millions. Like, I think they said Ninja got $30 million.
You get
and
paid.
Shroud got 10.
I mean,
Imagine that.
Yeah.
$30 million that is fuck you money. That's
Yeah.
you are set for multiple lifetimes. Your kids are fucking set with $30 million.
It would be like if Joe Rogan went over to Spotify and then Spotify closed down next year. I would be like, well, I got paid. Like, who gives a shit?
I don't know too much about those particular streamers, but it does kind of seem like a welcome to the dark side kind of moment.
I thought Mixer was going to be shut down. I don't know why they paid that kind of money.
Ninja was their gamble. That like Loaded Gaming and their
Ninja
talent
and Shroud, yeah,
was their gaming. I mean, was their gamble rather.
I mean, that's what they thought. Like, hey, we'll just take some of the biggest streamers and make them exclusive to our platform. But the problem is for sure, Ninja's your biggest name on Twitch. Shroud was a huge name, but for every one of those two guys, like, there's 100 homegrown Twitch streamers that people still tune in. Like, you think people just watch Ninja? Like, they tune in and they only watch Ninja? I bet Ninja fans don't even watch Ninja, like, exclusively, you know? So I don't know why Mixer thought that was a good idea. I think honestly, the guys that ran the department didn't really understand the model they were working with.
Yeah,
the only reason Mixer,
the landscape.
Yeah,
people that watch streams, if they think pulling over one or two
and
names,
the only reason Mixer even competed in the marketplace was because they were built into Xbox. I mean, that is the only reason.
Oh, absolutely. The fact that on your Xbox console, you move over one slat, and it's just
when you see a stream playing, you think it's Twitch. Like, I used to do that shit all the time. I would go, oh, they have Twitch on here? And they'd be like, oh, this is something else. Like, whatever.
What a lot of people are talking about, there are people that started out that are fully with Mixer from the beginning that just had everything they've built just blow up overnight. Just like delete button. Like, imagine having
what did
moderately successful channel just like
no, who's the UFC guy? What's his name?
Connor?
No, who's the head of the UFC, the bald-headed dude?
Dana White.
What did Dana White say about UFC? Dana White. It's an opportunity. It's not a career. It's what it is. It's like anything. That's like saying if your job goes out of business, if you work at Amazon, you have the most secure job ever, right? Well, if it goes out of business, you don't, you know?
Yeah, there were a lot of people making that comparison of job going out of, like, people were boo-hooing, like, posting videos and shit, crying, like, everything I worked for that it has gone. And there were a lot of people that were sad. There were a lot of people that were sad, and there was a lot of people that commented with, people lose their jobs because companies shut down every fucking day.
So,
like, that's essentially what happened.
I'm going to sidebar on that. Were you guys aware of when Chatterbait had, like, this happened maybe right before the coronavirus shit? Chatterbait had, like, basically a virtual reality model that was the most popular model on Chatter. Is it Chatterbait or
VR?
What is the popular cam site, Adam? Is it not Chatterbait? What?
MFC would be the most popular.
No.
My free cams, I would say, is the biggest.
Oh, maybe it was My Free Cams. I can't remember. Anyway, it was a VR model. It was a model.
A good point.
Yeah, my point is that someone made a VR model, and it was the most popular one on the site for like a while now. And so all the real cam models were getting pissed. This is bullshit. I work so hard. I work 5 days a week. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, you think that person didn't work really hard to make that VR model that's making like all the money now? Sorry, like, you know, it's part of the game. Shit can change.
Part of technology.
Yeah, I'm a bartender. Guess what? In 10 years, fucking computerized bars are gonna open up, and I might be out of fucking work. You know?
I have a little
walk out to. Okay.
I was just gonna say I have a little bit more of a more realistic comparison, one where people aren't taking their clothes off. I would say, have you guys heard of Heroes of the Storm?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
never fucking played it.
That was Blizzard put so much money into that game.
Yeah.
They literally built up streaming. They're streaming around that game, trying to make it like established
They
in
wanted to make an esport.
yeah, exactly, in esports. That disappeared overnight. This is just what happens in online capacities, like when it comes to online games, online streaming, online, like whatever. It's very fickle, and that's just what happens.
But that's why I kind of compared it to, I guess, like cam streaming, because it's the same
still
thing.
streaming.
Yeah, you have your revenue coming in and everything. You know how the business works, right? And actually, it's called Project Melody. That's what it was fucking called. And yeah, they made a Twitter account for her, and then she live streamed on Shatterbait and Twitch.
So this is CGI person?
Yeah, it's like a VR model. It's a real person, and they put a lot of work into this. Like, because their Twitter, they showed how they built it up.
So it's like a tech experiment.
And the same thing. And because because it's unique, everyone wants to watch it, and every time it's on, you have these models that are the top
giant migrations from
and people get mad about it because, again, you thought you knew how the business model worked until bet you didn't think you'd be competing with VR people. Like,
I mean, if anything, they can't really complain because there's tons of people who built their careers on YouTube, and then just 2 years ago, the monetization,
they get demonetized. Yeah,
the monetization scales changed drastically to where
you knew the model. I was a political commentator. Well, now you can't do that anymore. We're not gonna pay you to talk about politics. Like,
so it's it's kind of the nature of just technology in of itself.
As Mike says, as online
today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, online, it's still kind of like, it's not like the .com boom, but it kind of is. You're talking about even things like, web streams, video game streams, whether it be video games or cam streams for pornography. All these things are still like relatively new. The model is there, but it doesn't mean that it won't evolve. And yeah, I'm sure for every Chatterbait, there were 100 sites when Chatterbait were coming out that seemed like the next big thing that just didn't work out.
Yeah, kind of like social networks.
Yeah, and so you can bitch that your Mixer career like dissolved, and yes, that sucks. You're out of work, but I mean that happens in real job fields every day. That happens in any career,
Well, I think
look at the housing crisis. We almost had bankers out of jobs. Imagine that.
That would be a crime.
Yeah.
God forbid.
God forbid banks go under.
Supposedly in that story, though, Facebook actually offered Loaded Gaming like double their contract. They were going to double it to keep them under contract. And they all came to some agreement apparently and just like, no, just pay us out. So it's fascinating that Ninja could add 60 million over who knows how many years, whatever the contract was. But instead he was like, no, I'll take the 30 now. Thank you very much.
I mean, you know why he did that, right? Because now he's not on any kind of ball and chain.
Yeah,
he can quit streaming. Yeah, he doesn't even know. He can quit streaming today, and he's not obligated to ever stream again. He has $30 million, but okay, cool, I have $60 million, but now I have to stream 5 days a week for the next 5 fucking years, Oh,
that's true. I didn't think about that. The fact that the requirement to work rather as opposed to the fact that he doesn't even have to work if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he never has to. And he probably will go back to Twitch but and this will make him kind of like love it again, I'm sure. When it's not an obligation, you're much more willing to get on. But when it's a job, not so much.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
What does
Facebook?
So Facebook bought Mixer. What is Facebook's gaming?
Or they didn't platform? I don't know if they bought it as much as. There must have been talks behind the scenes, and Microsoft decided to migrate and join with Facebook. I'm not sure all the details on.
They don't have
their partnership, but it's called like Facebook Gaming or something like that.
Okay.
It's just something else that they're adding on. I mean, it's just like them buying up Instagram or anything else. Just them or Yelp or not Yelp.
They're just getting in the business, yeah.
It's just another thing they're adding to the business.
You know how there's like games where it's like, oh, be a sushi maker tycoon, BA.
like you have on Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook
imagine
game
a
type shit.
Facebook tycoon. We're like, see how many posts you can post in 60 seconds. How many likes you know what I mean? Like, what can they really make as far as games?
I don't know. I'm already seeing those. You know, Facebook has those sponsored ads or whatever. It's just ads that show up in your like timeline. I've already seen 2 separate sponsored ads with short little video clips of, I don't know who the fuck they are because they're coming from Mixer, but of individuals going, just letting y'all know I'm taking my talents over to Facebook Gaming. And it's clearly like a structured video that they're reading off some sort of script or memorized it or something along those lines. And I'm assuming they must have gotten some sort of deal in order to make it. But Facebook's already posting sponsored ads on their site to advertise.
Will you guys ever become mobile gamers?
What do you mean?
I can't say I
mobile
never.
games. I play mobile games.
Yeah, I can't say I never will. I don't play. I only play mobile games when I'm literally taking a vacation. That is the only time I download and play mobile games.
I meant as like a replacement. Like the majority of your time, you're now playing on
I
PC.
I can't. Well, but I can never say no because who knows what the future has. If in 30 years gaming has migrated strictly to mobile, yeah, I'll probably end up playing mobile games.
I mean, I guess once as phones become more powerful, the quality of games and shit.
Yeah. And there was a good while where I was just playing my PSP. When I had a modded PSP, that's probably like the only gaming system I played for like a solid year.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know how there's that age-old argument of PC versus console when it comes to first-person shooters.
No, I've never heard of this argument, actually.
There's limitations when it comes to using a controller. Do you think that there are limitations with that?
Absolutely. 100%.
It's too difficult in order to pick like a specific area. Like what they launch, they put like PUBG and Fortnite on phones, and people talk about the amount of kills they get because it's so much easier. It's like because of the inaccuracy of like touching a phone screen. Like
yeah, and then the second
they have to make hitboxes are like this fucking big on your phone.
But
so
not even that. And then yeah, I go buy a controller add-on for my phone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now all of a sudden, yeah, of course I'm gonna win every fucking game. Like the control scheme.
So do you think that there's a limitation then?
Right now, yes. But in the future, I don't know.
Like, could you ever get the same type of gaming experience that you get from your PC?
Right now, again, right now,
allow for it.
No. In the future, 20 years from now, who's to say?
It would have to be something along the lines of the camera on your phone is like tracking your eye movement.
You're assuming in 20 years we won't have contact phone lenses.
Yeah, I was assuming that as well. Like, assuming you're still working on a touchscreen device, you would need something that actually is looking at your eye, determining what you're looking at when you're pressing, and like an algorithm that says, oh, he's clicking here. So it's not like every time my thumb presses down on their head, it's a headshot. Like,
I don't think we're gonna get Star Trek technology in 20 years.
No.
I don't think.
No, you're supposed to be like fucking have moon bases and headed to Mars by now.
I just don't know. I just don't know just based off of the mechanics of, let's say you get an iPhone from the future. One of you guys
fuck Apple. I don't care if it's the future or not.
Yeah, let's say it's an iPhone from the year 2040. Okay? It's a super advanced iPhone. I guarantee you it's still not going to come close to gaming on a console.
If it is the same, if it's just a better version of this in 40 years, you are correct. But again, 10 years ago, we didn't have touchscreens. We had flip phones. Yeah. Half of the phones didn't even flip. Sidekicks were like the best thing. Now we have touch phones. So who's to say in 10 years will we still be using this? And who's to say in 20 years? So maybe I could imagine a technology where this might still be your base, but just like a headphone port you would plug up a pair of glasses that would be better, higher resolution than a monitor, more field of vision, and then
right in your face.
oh look, and I'll plug in my controller to my charging port, and now all of a sudden mobile is better. Imagine if you had 2 ports, one for glasses and one for a fucking controller. This makes a PC obsolete immediately if it is as good of quality. Which, so you can argue that more hardware can always fit into a PC, so PC will always be optimal, but you get diminishing returns. So if the graphics on your PC can only be 5% better, and you're talking about like I can't just sit on my couch and do my little phone plugins and play my games, well, yeah, PC is going to lose.
Well, hey, to tie it into fucking last week, you don't even need phones to get better. We're gonna have 5G internet, at least. Something probably far superior is gonna be ubiquitous across the landscape.
Yeah. So you will have wired internet,
and then you're gonna have companies like GOG, like Stadia, like PlayStation Now. You're just gonna be streaming these high quality. Like you don't even need a strong device. You just need something that has a strong internet connection, synced up with a strong PC. So it's actually a lot easier to do than it sounds, and people are already experimenting with it. So,
yep.
I want fucking these glasses. Jason's imagining though. That sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah, as soon as I thought about it, I was like, haven't I thought about that before? Just have a controller port and a glasses port on your phone, and if it can run it with like enough hardware, man, like, because again, you just plug that shit in on your couch and just play the fucking game, whatever the fuck you want, you know?
I always thought contacts would be the next level of that, though.
Yes, but again, you're talking about like somehow packing enormous levels of technology. I think we're still, like you said, maybe 50 years off from that, but 20 years off from a smaller VR headset that just kind of takes up your field of vision while you play your game. Like, I think that's very likely in 20 years.
Yeah, it seems reasonable to me, especially at the rate that at least VR is advancing.
Yeah.
With all these companies investing and competing. The spinoff, touching on Blizzard's attempt at making a MOBA that didn't go so great. Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon, yeah.
Announced
Speaking
yesterday,
of mobile gaming,
and mobile gaming, they're getting into the MOBA game with Pokemon Unite. 5v5.
I won't play it, but if there was a MOBA that I was going to play.
Pick your team of Pokemon to go at each other. Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. Like, I'm not a huge MOBA person, but if there was one that I was gonna fucking play,
gonna try, it would definitely be this one. Yeah, I imagine it's going to do extremely well.
I am just now for the first time hearing about this.
Really?
So
it's gonna be for Switch and mobile.
So I am 100% containing my excitement right now.
What is it called?
Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
I was watching some videos of it earlier, and I'm like, you see like Pikachu like fighting Charizard and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, that looks pretty fucking dope.
And you can trade from cell phone to Switch, like it's cross-play on that. Do you control the Pokemon? Have you seen like a gameplay video or anything? I haven't watched anything about it.
The only ad I saw had gameplay in it, but it was one of those like it's a Nintendo style gameplay video. Like it's produced.
Yeah.
They're doing like cuts between like people happy and playing, and they'll cut to the game, and you see like Pokemon fighting.
I'm literally scrolling through it right now, and that's. But I mean, no, it looks like a MOBA. You know, you got Charmander and shit doing his lightning breath while he's like strafing backwards to stay out of the range. Like,
so imagine like as you level up through the match, like once you get to level 10, you hit your first evolution. Like, I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm
it absolutely is. That better be,
because you see a Charmander and you're like, fuck, and then like they win a battle, like a big confrontation, and you come
and they
back,
level up, that's
and then you're
dope.
like, fuck, and then they ended up getting the Charizard first.
Wow, I'm watching this and I'm like, I'm about to get to MOBAs. Fuck. I've avoided them for so long. I guess now I have to play it.
Welcome to the dark side.
Oh man, dude. Fuck. It looks so good.
Well,
I,
you guys have
And they've
years
already
of
introduced
practice.
tons of items and shit through the game and whatever. So like, if you're gonna collect gold or whatever and run back to like the shop,
So
or
you're
if you die and
saying,
you're buying items,
I can equip extra cannons to my Blastoise? Is that what you're telling me? Like,
I wasn't saying that much as like the plants and the berries and the eggs and all the fucking little things that they've
you
come out
know,
with in the games. I'm sure they can have some use for Pokeballs. I don't fucking know what they are. Maybe it's like a trap that they get stuck in temporarily.
when does it come out?
Honestly, I didn't look at the
Release date.
Jason, do you have it?
Let me look.
This and Squadrons.
No, a release date is just to be announced.
This and Squadrons I'm looking forward to very much.
Oh yeah, Squadron. So they actually did a if we're on games, they did the event for Cyberpunk 2077 earlier today too, where they
Twitch
revealed.
streamers got 5-hour demos.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen mixed things. Like I think it looks fantastic, but some people are like, "Oh, the gunplay looks like kind of slow and boring." But I mean, but I don't know. Like, do you want it to be like Doom? You know what I mean? And I mean that in the sense of this is clearly like a narrative-driven game. It's like The Witcher. The Witcher isn't Dark Souls. So is The Witcher 3 a bad game because it doesn't have tight controls like Dark Souls and Sekiro? You know, no. But yes, it's an easier game. So because Cyberpunk's gonna be an easier shooter than say the new Doom, is it a shitty game? Like, no. But people like to make that argument. Oh, look, it looks casual. Well, no shit. It's got to be a 100-hour RPG. Like,
I mean, it's kind of like Mike, you played the Deus Ex games, right?
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, however you want to call it.
Whatever.
I think.
I mean, the
little
gunplay
bit.
in that, it's not a fucking shooter, right? It's
Yeah, that Jade played it, and that's kind of what I compare it to. Also,
it's
yeah,
slowed down, it's a little clunky, but like you have abilities and stuff, and it's not a shoot 'em up. It's just they slow it down, but that's not the selling point, like the premier point of playing the game.
yeah.
The stuff that I saw was cool, and like the streamers and stuff that I respect that were reviewing it. I was listening to Jesse Cox's review, and he was basically saying like if you like just if you like cyberpunk type shit, like the music, the world, everything, it's just there. Like they nailed it to a T. He's like the music that you hear in the games like synthwave or whatever, but he's like once you get into like a car, then you can change stations and hear like lots of different types of music.
That's my whole thing. I don't know. You know, and I hate to say it, a lot of the complaints I'm reading from 4chan, and they'll shit on anything. They want big games to fail. It's always like just a thing that they want. But I'm like, you know, everyone's gonna buy the fucking game. I can't tell you a single person who's not going to play Cyberpunk 2077. You know, if you like video games, you're not gonna play it. You're just not gonna play it.
No.
Why?
It does not look interesting.
You don't think that setting, like that landscape, is neat? I guarantee you,
Not
though, that
really.
landscape appeals to a lot of people.
Do you not like Blade Runner or
Yeah.
fucking
You don't like
anything?
sci-fi?
Yeah, like
I'm very picky when it comes to my dystopian future.
Yeah, you want Star Trek. You want it to be clean and cleansed. You don't want it to be dirty.
I want it to be dirty and realistic, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
The unwashed masses with future tech. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Give me
my Blade Runner.
Yeah, give me my Blade Runner. Give me my old altered carbon.
Yeah, this is like the Blade Runner RPG. It's going to sell extremely well, and I have no doubt it's going to be an incredible game. I mean, The Witcher 1, when it came out, was an incredible RPG for the time, and it still holds up, like, gameplay-wise. It's hard, you know, and story-wise it holds up, but it's hard because it's old. Witcher 2, at the time it came out, it was like the benchmark of RPGs. The Witcher 3 beat that also. Like, I have no doubt that they know what they're doing. Maybe they'll drop the ball a little bit in terms of like gunplay. But again, I mean, you're playing the story primarily for RPG elements. So as long as the game feels nice, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, that's gonna be definitely a day one buy for me. I'm looking forward to it.
the story trailer they came out with didn't really show much, but
I
the
didn't see
gameplay
story
looked
trailer.
the gameplay looked pretty cool. I watched like the 25-minute thing before I hopped on here today. I mean, it looks fine. A bunch of shit that I feel like we already knew. You know, it's just until you play the game, you're just not gonna know what much about the game. You know.
Marvel with their Avengers game, they had a special yesterday, the day before.
Is that the MODOK thing?
Yeah, they did like I want to say it was a 30-minute video that showed a lot more of the game than they did at fucking, was it E3 last year?
Yeah, but that was just like
it looked like a fucking joke.
But that was just like the launch, you know.
But they basically showed off how the game plays and different game modes, the co-op modes. Basically, there's going to be like a map and then lots of missions you can go through as you unlock different superheroes. I'm sure that's like pretty early on you unlock them all, but you're gonna have to like probably encounter them, I'm sure. Then they have certain like specific missions, like this is a Thor mission, this is an Iron Man mission, this is a Hulk mission. They showed off character customization. There's a lot of stuff they're pulling from the comics, like alternative universe Thors and shit. So it's I want to call them inside joke, but comic knowledge characters that comic book fans will appreciate.
It looked good. As someone that didn't give a shit about it, when I watched like kind of the gameplay and the story, I get kind of hyped because I was like, oh, this is really neat. If this game does well, like they can just release DLC
and they can add
storylines
characters
for these characters. Yeah,
so they're
exactly.
going to be adding characters as the life of the game goes on. The DLC is going to involve whole new characters.
Yeah.
But when they showed off like the different like suits and abilities and how there's like a skill tree and you can play it differently depending on how you want to play. I was like, and you have an ultimate and special ability and stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty down for this. This looked a lot better than that shit that they showed last year. So I'm finally excited for that game.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know that I'll buy it, you know, but I'm definitely interested in it. Whereas before I could care less. So
it's probably gonna be one of those that I'll buy it once it's been out a year or so and it goes on sale or something. Like it's one of those I won't spend $60 on it, but I might spend 30 or 40.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of. Mike, do you have any interest in it? No.
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 Do you have any interest?
Is it a PS4 or PS5 release? Because I feel like everything that's coming out now, I'm like, you have to get it on your next gen consoles, or else it's just kind of dead in the water.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be. If it's going to come out next year, everything has to be either both or exclusively PS5.
I think it'll be both.
I think we need to.
I mean, that's the only logical thing.
I think we need to become more realistic in regards to movies, TV shows, things that are supposed to be coming out are probably going to get delayed. Like if you,
like these days,
like if you had a magic globe that you could peer into this globe and it'll tell you when this coronavirus bullshit is going to be over. When do you think that date would be? What do you think that date would say in the globe?
Real quick, just to answer that question, it's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One in September, but Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix have said that if you buy the game for the current consoles, you'll get an upgrade to the next gen at no additional cost.
That's sweet.
Which is dope.
When will coronavirus be over? Fucking like a year at the earliest? I mean,
2022.
yeah. I would say 2022, most likely.
I mean, we should definitely, if that's the case, then we should definitely expect like TV shows, games, all that stuff.
I am under the impression that people are going to stop caring and it's going to become like a part of just everyday life. You might be required to wear a mask. That might be a thing, and we might have to wear masks going forward. But in terms of any other changes of life, I just don't see them happening. I think you're just the new reality is just like people are going to die from coronavirus. I mean, until a vaccine becomes available.
I think that's entirely possible, especially the way people are behaving now. They're already willing to just accept and live with it.
Capitalist or communist, China or America, it doesn't matter. You cannot stop everything because there's a virus killing people.
Do we just start Patreon? Is this a preview of
no, it's not what we were talking about on Patreon. I just simply think that, yes, things are going to be delayed now, but in 6 months when, I don't know, Hollywood just says, fuck it, we still have to make money. Like, that's the problem. All these sectors are eventually just going to be like, fuck it, we have to just start making money again. Like, we can't
The Witcher just started shooting, I think.
Yeah, well, they're probably shooting in like Sweden or something. Who doesn't care? They don't give a fuck.
The new Batman movie is getting pushed back. Everything's getting pushed back.
No Time to Die will never come out. Ever.
So we'll never have a black woman as James Bond. What a shame.
I thought she was just his sidekick. It's whatever.
No, she's 007, but.
So how's Sweden doing? Are they doing good? Their elderly's just going. Their elderly population's dying. Is that it?
Is it decimated?
I think you mean New Zealand.
No, Sweden was the one that didn't lock down. They never changed anything. Everything was good. They have 63,000 cases and 5,000 deaths. No new deaths reported today. So
Brazil is pretty bad right now.
Sweden COVID expert says Earth went mad with lockdown. So,
I think they did what basically your cough in their face suggestion of.
Yeah, they did the herd mentality. Just let it happen.
Just let it spread through, and some of you may die. That was basically what they did, I think. Just don't wear masks. Just go about your daily lives. A lot of you are going to get sick. Some of you may die. But we will be stronger at the end of it.
It's like this weird argument of, so most of Sweden's deaths have come from their elderly. And this just gets into that weird area of like, well, I mean, old things die. Like, I don't, at least, it's not killing like 10-year-olds. It's killing like 80-year-olds. Like, I mean, and if I was sitting here as an 80-year-old person, I'd be like, this guy's a fucking asshole. What? I mean, you're gonna die in like 5 years of something anyway.
You're failing to take into account a couple things here, Jason.
All right, tell me.
You're failing to take into account. You're failing to take into account that it can mutate into something worse.
Oh, possibly. I've played Pandemic. I know the risk.
Plague
Inc. I don't know. What the fuck is it called?
Plague Inc.
And the other thing that you're missing is the fact that in these recent surges that we're seeing, it's young people that are being hospitalized. So
give me that number. I don't believe that. I know young people are testing positive a lot more. Like there's more young people, way more testing positive. No people, because young people are the people going out and getting it because they're not really afraid. So I would argue that even if what you just said is correct, if the infection rate between young and old is like 10-1. Well, yeah, there would be more hospitalized young people because they're catching it at 1,000% rate higher.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to inject that.
Youth hospitalization rates. COVID.
It's people our age.
So what, in their 30s?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like it's just going to become a fact of life.
Yeah. Young or old, I don't think it matters.
But I'm not sure how elderly handle it, because it's one of those, like, all my grandparents are dead, but my parents are like mid 60s, right? So they're starting to get up there of like dangerous. Do I want, like, how long do I need to wait before I go see my parents? Do I keep my distance from them in case I have it?
I went and
certain
saw
things like
my
that,
dad on Father's Day, but it was definitely something I thought about. I was like, like my stepmom has like an immunity disease. Like, are you guys fine with me coming over? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. They're willing to risk, but in my head, it is something I think about. I'm like, no, because I come in contact with a lot of people. Like,
it's like, maybe I'll wear a mask like when I'm around my parents.
No, I'm not doing that. Just gonna stand outside and shout at them.
I mean, what if? People with cancer and stuff, they're basically locked in their homes. They can't go outside.
Yeah.
So there are certain segments of the population that life just can't continue as normal.
Until it's under control. You're right.
More practically, though, what about these places that are emerging as epicenters?
Big cities? Of course it was gonna happen.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is these people that imagine these people who now cannot afford, not financially but medically, to go to the doctors now. Because I'll tell you what, unless I'm dying, I'm not going to the hospital, and my state is not even overrun, or even.
I'm definitely not. I still go to the doctor, but I definitely would think twice before going to the hospital. Like something that I would generally go to the hospital for. I'm like, I wonder if there's maybe an urgent. I'm like, maybe if there was an urgent care clinic that can handle this.
I've never been to the doctor. Let me preface that. So I'm probably not going to go to the doctor unless I'm literally like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Like, if I was so sick with symptoms and my breathing was affected, I would just go to the hospital, because in my mind I'd be like, fuck, I have pneumonia. If I don't go get help, I could very possibly die.
Do you think? I mean, do you think though that is now on a lot of people's thoughts that are living in these states?
What thought?
California, like if you're, let's say you're.
We have an epicenter 30 minutes south of me, so it's on my mind.
I know. I'm not trying to out anyone. I'm just saying, like, is that something like, that you think people are worried about now? Is like, I can't go to the hospital now, because this shit's going on.
Well, I don't know, because I didn't go to the hospital for anything. As
someone who's been to the hospital previously, to an emergency room, I can tell you that if I had something that I thought was an emergency, I would definitely look at
I would still go.
Popular. I would
Think
look
if you
at
broke your leg.
alternatives.
What if you broke your leg right now? Where the fuck are you gonna go?
I'm saying that there are other types of emergency rooms, like urgent cares and places of that type, that you can go to instead of a major hospital with a major emergency room that has an intensive care unit. Because you don't need to go to an intensive care unit for a broken leg. You know what I mean? So
you could go to like
there are other medical type facilities that handle that type of issue, problem, whatever, emergency, that's not fucking filled with COVID.
You're right.
And my dad's already said that has a lung doctor just because of a medical condition that he has. And he's already told my mom, like, if we ever catch it or if I catch it, don't take me to a local hospital. Like, we'll drive the hours or so that it takes to get to this major hospital.
Really?
So people are like, my dad's a planner, so he obviously is going to do something like that. But I'm sure he's not an outlier. There are people that have plans in mind if shit happens. And I don't think it's unusual.
It's crazy.
No. We're surrounded by death. People die every day of enormous reasons. You know, car crashes, heart attacks, choking on food, slipping and falling down.
Oh, fuck that episode of 6 Feet Under, by the way. That choking,
Dude, they're all bad, but that's 6 Feet Under, to reference it. I mean, you're just gonna see people die in ridiculous ways, and that's just kind of like a part of life. It's every day, and you know, people die of illness every single day. People die of heart disease every day. I mean, so again, heart disease exists. Do you stop selling salt and fatty foods? Fuck no. You load everything with salt and everything with food, and you still let heart attacks just wreck enormous populations of people.
yeah, that's
you don't give
personal
it
choice.
because it's their choice. But I
This
mean,
is
you know,
also being said by the person who says that he doesn't go to the hospital. I just wanted our viewership, our
why
audio.
why would I go to the hospital? There's nothing fucking wrong with me.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that of all people to be saying that.
But
In your 30s, when was the last time you had a physical? You need some blood
never.
work. You need some blood work, Jason.
I don't want blood work. Dog, it's just
know.
gonna tell me I have fucking cancer. I don't want to know
you have
that.
high cholesterol.
I'm sure I have I think I have high cholesterol. Actually, I don't know. If I had something, it would be high cholesterol.
God, our first guest needs to be a doctor. That's
Why?
Our first guest needs to be a doctor, just to relax like our entire podcast. Which, by the way, I would like to say, I'm hoping by next week we're on Spotify, so we will.
With Joe Rogan, I see.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
We're gonna get there before him.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat him to the punch. We'll bring all our massive viewership numbers.
It does have a nice ring to it, though. Like if someone's like, "Hey, where can I catch your podcast?" Spotify. You got Spotify? Yeah, just Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify's a nice, easy answer. YouTube or
Yes.
Spotify.
Speaking of that,
I'm out of
we
things to
wanna-
talk about for
yeah,
the week.
Yeah.
let's wrap it.
Well, I believe that is going to be all this week for Nerdy, Drunk, and Stoned. Jason has no social media.
Nope.
Mike, where can they find you?
At _Renbrag.
On just Twitter, Instagram.
They have to Google search.
Just Google.
Just Google it.
Just Google it. You can find me, XLNXTV, on Twitter, Instagram, someday Twitch. I don't know. Whenever I decide to stop being lazy and get around to actually making a channel.
He knows.
Anyways, if you would like to join our Patreon, stick around and you can watch our after show. But please like, subscribe, comment, bang that bell notification in order to get updates for all of our new videos. We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.